welcome to another edition of XFeed. I'm doing this on a Sunday night because things have gotten to a crazy point. They have shrunk the garlic bread. Have you ever gone to a store, right? And they have those like frozen garlic bread? That'd be great if you're having pasta, if you're doing whatever. When is ever a bad time for garlic bread? You know what I mean? Let's start introducing that at breakfast or restaurants. No credits. What's going on? Take a look at this. What happened to the garlic bread that we love? Unreal. So I think what's happening is they're taking away our garlic bread, but they're about to bring us alt season and crypto success for the rest of 2025. Listen, we will take that trade. Welcome to another edition of XFeed. What's up? My name's The Schiller, doing a show on a Sunday. Listen, I'm energized. I'm feeling good. We're seeing the markets doing some crazy stuff. NFTs have flown. We're going to get really overview the entire Beeple situation. If you haven't seen that, if you haven't seen some of the government deepfake AIs that are out there, I don't have a video for parts of it, but I do for others to highlight how crazy AI is about to affect. And this might even be something that you need to send a family member. And I don't think I've ever sent that on a stream before. And that's like, it's not about buying crypto. It's not about any sort of thing like that. It's just about realizing the threats that are happening right now with AI. And we say we need to authenticize things. We need to know, is it real? Is it fake? And are people now just going to go to the lengths of it has to be on chain, that's verified, that's another layer of security because the world is getting crazy. But speaking of crazy, why are top banks still prohibiting or restricting access to Bitcoin ETFs on their wealth management platforms? Is this the last vestige of debanking? Well, we saw the announcement the other day over in the world of the USA where they said anybody that's discriminating against people for political views or in certain industries, whatever, you're not allowed to debank them. And so here's a whole bunch of banks and I should say it is banks, but it's their reaction to Bitcoin ETFs here. Yeah, Aurora, what's going on? How are we doing? And exposure prohibited? Look at that. It's like 60, 70%. You got check marks. Exposure restrictions, again, the same mark here. And then there's like 4 or 5 certain groups that don't have anything. Now, does this mean that all of these should exist? Right? There's the debacle or debate about stablecoins and how we're seeing a bajillion of them, but what about these ETF providers? Do we need a bajillion of them? Are only, all these ones getting capitalized into some of these? What does it look like? Don't forget, we still have DAOs and people that are out there that are buying NFT collections. We were told that CloneX is done, and then people are going out there sweeping 100 pieces of it. Do we just like the art? I know people like the tech of Ethereum now because it's going up. Funny how that works. Justin, Coinbase will soon support decentralized trading within its main app. This is unreal. This is crazy. You have to think about the aspect of if you're somebody new getting into crypto, for argument's sake, the concept of a centralized exchange or one that is just an exchange you use is that it is to protect you, right? In theory of, this coin's new, we need to wait a while, make sure that it has buyers, and you're going to be quote-unquote safe getting into it. That's like the context. Well, on the other side, for people that are waiting for coins to be listed, there's certain shady tactics, and you have to pay a huge fortune and all these other things that are out there, right? But the only thing that kind of sucks about this is, in a loose term, is it's only for base. So any coin that has a base pool where you're able to trade it on there, well, it just probably got a little bit of bump because Coinbase users can now go out there. I read a guy very unhappy with feature versus fluff rewards on the timeline. You'd seen something about it. So I think a lot of things right now are about the price. And okay, do we also go into story time during this? Because okay, sure, why not? So I FOMO'd today over something that I probably shouldn't have, and you guys might be familiar with it. And it was the abstract Bitcoin. And if you've not seen Bitcoin before, basically it is a simulation that is sort of like a DeFi platform where you get like a room and then you put a crypto miner on it. And this crypto miner yields Bitcoin per day. So when it first came out, there wasn't really a whole lot of people in it, but those that participated, again, it's something that you just buy these coins with, and it starts out with zero value. It starts out with zero value, so keep that in mind. And the idea within this game is that you buy, let's bring it up here, a miner. And so these miners will yield X amount. So right now I'm mining 0.002 Bitcoin a day, which is terrible, right? Anybody immediately you're like, all right, what the hell? That's not even one. Even if that's worth $1, which it is, that's kind of So the concept with this is you have to buy miners, and each one costs more and more big token. And initially, if you came and played the game when there really wasn't that many users, you were able to get potentially, 150 Bitcoin a day for simply just having the initial thing that I want to say costs like $15 to start the game, right? Just for fun. You would have enough immediately, like within a day, to like quote unquote break even. And then it got really, really viral. But people were able to go up and buy all the way down to some of these like top miners, which it's advanced over time. Weirdly enough, when this first came out, it it only had like 4 or 5 of these options, and each one it requires more energy to be able to use, and the price of it would be whatever. And so like this one, as an example, would cost $1,200 right now because it's about $1 for the token. And yo, Gio, what's going on? How we doing? And then you go down to the last one here, it would cost $6,000 to get into it. But it's called a Bitcoin. It's got halvenings, and you can see all the stuff. And the more and more people that got involved with it, you could get more Bitcoin a day. Well, excuse me, less Bitcoin a day because more people got on the network. And so then it crashed and burned. It went from like $10, right? From starting at literally $0. It went all the way up to $10. And there was legitimately people that were printing $40,000 plus a day for the 2-3 weeks that it was super viral on Abstract. Now, with the halvening, with more people coming online and whatnot, it was something where if you wanted to get started right now, you'd probably have to pay like minimum $600, if not more, to hit around maybe like a big a day, which again, at $1, to spend that, you're going to have to, at current time, wait 600 days. And so I saw some stuff on the timeline. It was coming back. They burned a lot. And then I was like, oh my God, I forgot about the halvenings and everything else. So I spent money on it. And then I was like, but luckily you can sell the miners. And I was like, okay, I'm rooting for Bitcoin, but I don't want to FOMO over this certain stuff. And one of the things with that, right, is all about the price, because people that bought at the heights of it when it was $10 a coin, holy suffering succotash. It feels really bad. But then all of a sudden it drops to 27 cents, and people that got in at the point of 27 cents, it's now up to $1. They're like, oh my God, we woohoo, because we're up for some sort. But also the people that put in a whole bunch before, maybe they have crazy rigs, and over time the yield from it. And so that's sort of the same way that I kind of look at what's going on with Futureverse and the Root Rewards. It's all dependent on the price, and it's at like a 10 mil market cap right now for like Root, and like Fluffs are ranked like 220th in the NFT scale, which is like way the hell back there comparatively. So I think once we see some of the tokens end up recovering a little bit, I think we can see, a lot of these different ecosystems that are attached to a token. Bored Ape's the same thing. We're seeing ApeCoin starting to move. Bored Ape's going to move. Ethereum's, it's this big hoopla right now. And for the likes of Harvard, they're buying $116,000 worth of Bitcoin, BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF, where apparently some of the banks are like, hey, you're not allowed to do that, buddy. You're not allowed to do that, buddy. Now, what else you're not allowed to do, buddy, is deal with the internet age when you make a stupid comment and people don't bring it up, which we're going to do here. In 2018, Harvard says Bitcoin is more likely to hit $1,000 than 100,000. In 2025, Harvard buys 160 million Bitcoin at $116,000 a pop. Don't we love the internet? Facts. Cynthia Lummis, what does she got to say?
I'm particularly pleased with President Trump's support of my strategic Bitcoin reserve initiative, which will address our national debt while securing America's position as the global leader in financial innovation. As Bitcoin comes into more usage, its use makes the whole system more secure, more robust, and more capable of serving our needs all over the world. We should be the global leader with this fantastic new ledger-based asset that is in a digital format that is going.
It's like you just gotta like meme this. And it's like, how do we change like the NFT narrative? What do we say instead of NFT? And then it's like that clip right now of her explaining the ledger and everything.
To be transformative of everyday economy and puts the everyday American, in fact, the everyday worker all over the world in control of their own money. What a wonderful blessing for hardworking people all over the world to have this great new technology.
Can we see Listen, I tried to look, Roar. You know what? Yeah, gold star for Roar. I love that fact that you were looking. I mean, Cointelegraph, I don't think would get what I was gonna say wouldn't get debated by this, but we've seen the likes of some serious players getting caught in the act. That said, no, I think it's just like the camera quality is not that great because Cynthia Lummis has been like really all about that. But again, this is like a bill. It's not like it passed. So I also, any kind of big announcements you want to make sure. So yeah, it's not officially passed or anything. But I think I saved an ad by accident. My bad. Sorry about that. Hopefully that wasn't big news. Damn it. The Panini blockchain haters are in shambles right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to raise your hand if you have heard of the Panini blockchain before. The hands have went up for all the sports people in the class. Nice. Love it. Love it. Good job, everybody. If you don't know what that is, basically for the likes of, well, to pause for a second, every league is picking different people, right? We have Major League Soccer, which is on, what the hell is it? It's not the Palm blockchain because that's what Candy Digital was. It was some blockchain that I've like legitimately never heard of before. And, I don't think they're really doing anything with it. And it's like, damn. But, yo, Gio, you know what? Hell yeah. And so what we're seeing is that over there. And then on Flow, they have NBA, a whole bunch of other ones. We have NHL Breakaway. I think that's also on a different blockchain. It might be on Flow. NBA's leaving Panini. Very interesting. But NBA's also on Flow. I think they're a part of what's going on with Sorare, which Sorare is on ETH, right? Or is it its own thing? I'm having a blank in my mind right there. But all this being said, we're having kind of like, you know, the chain wars where the sports wars and everybody's kind of going to different places. And so when Panini decided to do that, because again, they're a huge, if you don't know what Panini is, they are very, very big on the physical sports card world. And so we are seeing some genuine big names and companies trying, experimenting, coming on chain in various ways. Anyway, that's a very long way of getting to the actual friggin' announcement. Panini Blockchain, the digital collectibles platform of Panini America, is developing a bridge to allow users to move certain assets to the Ethereum network for storage and self-custody wallets and sales on whitelisted marketplaces. All right, question from the class out there. You're asking, why in the hell would they move over to Ethereum or have a bridge there? Why would they want it? There's a genuine fear for people that are collecting on these different platforms where I can, I don't know, like this physical cards, right? I can take these wherever. I can play at any store. It doesn't matter as long as they're like the official cards. I can play them in tournaments of any sort that's out there in the world. But on the blockchain, sometimes if you buy a set of cards, a set of collectibles, whatever it is, you are stuck on that platform where if something were to happen on that platform, where then your collectibles legitimately are just gone. And then you have the question, well, what if the team just stops delivering on it? And well, that also begs people just assign value to something that's official from specific brands, companies. Why do people prefer PSA over Beckett or whatever the hell other card service provider there is out there, right? We can use this for like any industry. The anticipated release is Q4 of 2025. These assets will also be able to bridge back onto Panini Blockchain and participate in the marketplace as well as other features on the marketplace. Here is the quote section. We are committed to building the Panini Blockchain marketplace and platform to be the best of its kind, said Robert Hall, CFO of Panini America. It is also important to offer our users the choice to move their assets to self-custody wallet and sell on open chain marketplaces. Very good point on this too. The other concept of having people on your specific platform is that you can enforce royalties, right? Because we've seen where marketplaces don't honor royalties, other ones do. everybody wants to get on chain, but if there's no way to, make a little bread on that, then they don't want to, right? So some of the perceptions have changed around that, and that's also kind of a reason for that. And sorry for the lengthy explanation. Roar, wow, Panini will milk the world on blockchain, like those old albums of Football World Cup. Yo, you know Panini, yo, Roar, hell yeah. But again, all of these companies and whatnot, like, they want to make money off you. Listen, this year I've turned into an Inter Miami fan, okay? I'm out. I bought the merch. Listen, I'll buy another one. I'm down with it. If you really like whatever it is, you're going to go out. You know what I mean? So the question here is, have you played Roblox before? I haven't. I've actually never played Roblox, but I've heard of Hytopia. I've interviewed the team behind NFT World. If you want to go on my page, you type in NFT World Schillerverse on YouTube. Don't do it elsewhere because I don't know if you'll be able to find it on like X. But I talked with the team, and they've had pivoted arounds, and their concept with it was that they were going to be a blockchain connection to Minecraft. And that was the big component of it. They kind of rebuilt everything, having the blockchain elements. And then Minecraft originally told them, you're good. And then they're like, holy shit, these guys aren't going to make a ton of money off of us. No, thank you. And so they kind of had to pivot. And Hytopia is kind of their new world where it's very similar in essence, but it comes down to what we're seeing across multiple projects right now. So we have Hytopia that's trying to do a Roblox experience where everybody's able to make experiences of their own within this area. The other side, from Yuga Labs, they're trying to do the Roblox of Web3 where people are able to go on these experiences, create stuff, and then go from there. Readyverse, potentially, we're waiting to see again. It's like 1 or 2 days away from the open access on that. And I'd assume, maybe I'm wrong with this, maybe this is the world where it's based off like these major IP players that are building stuff and then it's other individuals. But the concept, again, people making experiences and then you build it up there. If it's successful, it's great. And it's the sandbox, portals, we can go down the list, right? We do got to talk about portals, and there's a podcast that's coming up this week. It's a good one. But the economics in Roblox, the DevX program is apparently how you end up getting involved with it of some sort or able to make a little bit of money. But in Hytopia, it's 75% revenue share. So why do people come into Web3? Again, the opportunities are there. IP ownership, content license to platform, Hytopia full creator ownership. Okay. So we'll see. What do these platforms all offer? Are they different enough within it? What does it look like? So Ripple, we've talked about RWAs. We just mentioned portals. That's the next guest on the RWA Segments podcast. We do that once a week. You can check out the link in the description down below here on YouTube or in my bio on X. And portals was a platform that is building out a metaverse, right? But the show itself is about RWAs. And it's the idea that everything's getting tokenized. So for portals, it's real world assets that's digital, right? Because technically, what's a real-world asset? We can make that argument. That's what Ray Buckton says. I'm not going to make that argument right now. But then what if Ripple is going out there and grabbing like the actual land that's not this digital group? Tokenization isn't a trend. It's reshaping global finance. Here's how RWAs, real-world assets, are moving on-chain with secure institutional-grade custody across regions. Treasuries and money market funds in the EU and USA. Again, when we talk about RWA, it's pretty much like exclusively stablecoins for like the big pie stuff. I think Collectibles and everything else is going to get there. Agriculture receivables expanding rural access in Latin America. Trade finance and structured lending in Southeast Asia. Real estate tokenization with control, alt, and land department of the XRPL. And this is talking about in the UAE. This stuff's happening from big players out there. All the stuff is coming on chain. And Ripple Custody's partnered with Auto. I just listen. If you want to do your own research, go check that out because it's a part of Ripple Custody. We'll see what happens with this. Last time ETH broke $4,000, we didn't have multiple treasury companies actively competing to accumulate 10% of the overall supply, violently higher. If you've been on the timeline at all this weekend, everybody's just giving their various takes of, well, last time Ethereum was just us, and it touched 4K. Now it touched 4K, and we have X laundry list of a billion things of people having treasury companies, regulation within the U.S., companies buying, like, major trend over the weekend. Everybody's screaming bull. So here's something that's interesting. And when I make my comments about businesses will want to make money, and that should not be like a weird thing to say by any stretch of the imagination. And it comes down to popularity in some cases. Can you get the user base? Can you get the attention? The Kraken CEO, big centralized exchange, talking about tokens.
I think my take is, and the exchange take, I'll speak on behalf of Kraken, is that like, look, we're not going to take a moral stance on whether like a token is serious or fun. We care about whether it meets, and we've said this many times, and so I kind of say this again and again. I think it was really important, is that does it meet technical, operational, and compliance standards? That's it. Like that's what really matters. And so is there like code audits, is there liquidity analysis, market surveillance? We're gonna do all of those pieces. If it meets that standard, and especially if you've got like a meme community that's starting to grow and there's volume behind it, we're gonna support it. We're gonna figure out how to list it. We're gonna figure out how to make sure that they can play a role in onboarding new customers that care about that form of expression.
Okay, so again, doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter what it is. Listen, if we're getting volume on the exchange, that's what it's all about. Then we get in the other trend of the weekend of everybody just taking something that's said and then repeating it. Things are being shipped, says Mert. Expect Solana bears to be violently extinguished in coming weeks. So you read that in your timeline, you're like, okay, cool, that's a bullish take. That sounds good. Oh, here's another one. Things are being shipped. Expect ApeCoin bears to be violently extinguished in coming weeks. You think, all right, well, maybe that's original. It's like, oh, wait, it's a meme based off of that. And so in a moment, I know the stream, we're going to go a little bit longer than normal. Hell yeah, a little weekend vibes. But we're going to cover the Beeple situation that is people copying what's went on there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're just watching the live stream, my name is Schiller. Normally go live Monday through Friday. I need to come up with a damn time to actually do this, but if you set any notifications, appreciate that. Any shares, likes, comments, let me know what you like. Let me know what you dislike. But first, have you seen the Lil Pudgy's YouTube channel? I haven't. I have not. So let's take a look at it. Roar, I could be naive. I don't know, but I don't believe in anything being delivered anymore. Being 100% honest, I have not noticed anything being delivered in months. And that's the question, though. If I'm going to make an argument, trying to take like the double side of the fence, are these teams aware that you have to enact, release the good news during a bull, where we've seen consistent highlights of the biggest teams in the world being a part of something, or stuff that would send the market 4x higher doesn't do a damn thing. So maybe all these teams have stuff ready to be delivered, but they're waiting for the market to take shape and be a part and able to make some noise while everybody is making noise. Yo, Corvus, good to see you. Thanks for coming through again. All right, so here's 15 seconds of the Lil Pudgy YouTube series.
I'd recognize that armpit fart and handsome face anywhere. Sorry, Atlas, but that's not me. That's my evil twin, Ringer.
Okay, so short episodes coming out from Lil Pudgies. We've seen various ones before from the likes of Cool Cats. I think, it's not bad. Yo, Duo Long, what's up? What's up? How we doing? So, I don't know. Do we watch like a minute of this and just see like what it's about? Let's see if it's all right.
Ladies, I hope you like jazz fusion because I'm about to pen pipe your hearts away.
Ringer, you stole my tablet!
Excuse me, I did not steal your tablet. Now leave me be. I sacrificed a family game night to perfect the sonic serenity of breath and read.
Oh, really? Then how come my security footage sent me this?
It's like every second there's something that goes on. It's like you can't like appreciate a scene or like have a line hit. It's like immediately there's something more. Immediately there's more sound effects. I think it's all right. I don't know if it's just like a me thing, but having like the voices the way they do, like it's like, okay, so are they trying to be kids? Are they older? Because you can tell the voices are like older people enacting it. So I can't tell. I can't tell if I like it. I can't tell if I hate it. I can't tell if we're going to watch a bajillion of it. But what we are going to continue to see is looking at on the timeline because my man, jeez, as you know how to market and get out there. And we've talked about treasure companies a lot, so here's his take on it.
Do you think is going to be? I mean, I've heard rumors of ETH treasury companies that are going to buy NFTs. Like this is the level that I'm hearing it at, and I don't know exactly which collections, but I know that they're coming. Like I know they're coming.
Yeah, they're coming. I can tell you that 100% they're coming. Punks, penguins are the ones I probably am the most bullish on.
Do you think is going to be?
So very interesting that Luke is straight out there saying that, and that's something that I like too. Is that we have people that are just not afraid to like talk the talk. You know what I mean? You know when you see people that talk the talk, but they ain't walking the walk. It's cool to see that like the talk is there, and then we can like judge them on. All right, was the walk amongst the talk, or was it just the talk? But like, I mean, hell yeah, get us feeling something as we're going into this time. I'm not emotionally invested in the Pudgy characters. I don't think they were bad. I just feel like it was like a little bit like too quick. Like I feel like it's something that, you know, not to take from another movie exactly, but like the Surf's Up, where it's, you know, it's a group of penguins, kind of like I get this is like a short film of sorts, but yeah, it I don't know. The voice is something was off to me. Cardano founder Charles Hoskin says 88 treasury companies are inevitable. Okay, so we got the Penguin Treasury happening. We got the 88 Treasury Company happening. We got the ETH Treasury Company happening. We got the other NFT Treasury Company happening. Wazowski, I'm always watching. There's your Monsters Inc. moment of the day. And the NBA Top Shot moment of the day. $20,000 for Luka Doncic. Holy sugar shit. That's crazy. People are buying Top Shot again. We're back, baby. Okay, so XCOPY, as we highlighted the other day, brought up a collection, the Pixel Fish thing, right? That collection I said was selling for like $700 or whatever at the time. Pretty sure it's like close to $2,000. People are buying it. And why? Because XCOPY was talking about it. And then you see, when you go through like the comments that people bring up, well, what about pixel glyphs, which is another NFT from way back in the day? And it's like, yeah, I love pixel glyphs. And it's like the marketing strategy for everybody to get attention. And again, the attention market is going to be huge. And on one of those collections, he says there's 21 million Bitcoin, but only 34 popsicles. And this is just a part of one of the collections within it. And it's funny, though, because the collection is basically at zero, but the popsicles within it have value. Again, just from a single person shilling it. Or somebody said the other day, well, listen, I don't think that's going to continue to happen the way that it did. Roar, I think making an analogy, Pudgy whole thing is like cocoa powder, but with sugar in it. Those who we buy and market, not the natural one. It makes chocolate, but it's not the real thing. I don't know. That's a crazy reference. Or holy smokes, bringing out the chocolate bar. Like crazy. Look at this. So somebody's posting. This is like a Facebook group, right? And they found a missing phone. And nobody in their right mind that's in crypto would say, you know what? I need to keep my seed phrase on the back of my phone, taped for it. So every time that I pull it out anywhere, I could potentially get compromised from somebody taking a photo. But there's this person who's kind of smart, and they're like, I'm going to fake that this phone is missing and then put a wallet on it. Now, the catch with this, as Beanie highlights, is that there's no way to actually move the tokens that are in it, right? Because every transaction requires ETH. You can't just move it. So people then send ETH to that wallet, and it's already compromised. Scripts are running, and they yank that ETH immediately. So it's a very wonky crypto hack, because the average person wouldn't see that, but you greedy son of a gun, you're like, oh my god, I could get a wallet. This person might be rich. And then you're right. You look at it, you're like, damn, I've got the money. And you send over your ETH, and then they take your ETH. You're like, damn it, I got God. Don't be them. So the Creator Clash for the Bathroom Blitz. One thing that I noticed that was kind of interesting is we are seeing certain like pros, and I don't really watch Valorant, but Baby Bay was somebody that was very much in the Overwatch League. And so like these names, I know a couple of the Bored Apes or whatever. But this was only the big name that I had. And I was like, you know what? Like, I remember that from back in the day. Like, again, played for the shock. I thought it was cool. Hell yeah. How many other people do we see get into the space that are influencers? We haven't seen this. Check out this thing. Okay, so not to crash out for a second, but these are the sort of things going on right now. So if you have anybody that's elderly, please let them know.
Thank God she didn't get this one, because that was my wedding ring.
At 90 years old, Terry Thompson has seen a lot. Never anything like this.
And I look at my hand, my ring was gone. She took the ring at the same time that she took the old ring off.
While having a smoke outside Ogilvie Villa retirement home Sunday, Thompson says she was approached by a woman who forcefully put jewelry on her.
I said, I don't want any. You keep it, you wear it. And all of a sudden, she grabbed my hand, put the ring on, And then all of a sudden, she took it off. I said, take that off. And she was gone in about a second.
Also,
Listen, lady's going out for a smoke, and then you got this bum of a thief that walks up. Nah, that's a red card and a foul. Holy smokes, what is the world coming to? Then we have, you know what I mean? Like, you see that story, and you're like, what the hell is going on? And then, you know, say, oh, don't wear, like, fancy jewelry in public. And this guy's wearing a $170,000 watch. Yeah, what are we doing? The problem of the planet are humans, 90% of it. Please come aliens. That's why it is absolutely wild. So Miles, with your take of how to read the market, right? And again, this is my take. This is Miles. Never financial advice, of course. But in my opinion, from here, this is Miles. ETH rally is going to go into a mini alt season. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Rotation back into Bitcoin when it's going from like 120K to 140, and then that'll be when the alts lag, and then we're like, hallelujah, but we're like crying while we're saying it. Rotation back into ETH, and then alts, and then the final blow off top. But here's the good news: this takes months to fully play out, so we got to hang out for a couple more months. Hell yeah, that's what we like to see. Moving on to just a perspective, right? Because we always see things on the timeline, and I really do think that it's about, you know, patience in certain circumstances. Not everyone, right? Not everyone. We've come to learn that, but it took 4 years for ETH to get back to $4,200. So think about what you were doing 4 years ago. Do you remember what you were doing 4 years ago? I don't remember what I was doing 4 years ago. But imagine top blasting, and then 4 years later, you're back after singing hallelujah that entire time. Unbelievable. What the hell is this? White House Crypto Council executive, not just the director, executive director Bo Hine steps down. He's the post. Serving in President Trump's administration and working alongside our brilliant AI and crypto czar, David Sachs, as not just a director, an executive director of the White House Crypto Council has been the honor of a lifetime. Together, we have positioned America as the crypto capital of the world. I'm deeply grateful to this industry for its unwavering support. I love this community and all we've built together. As I return to the private sector, I look forward to continuing my support for the crypto ecosystems as it thrives here in the US. This guy took an absolute fat bag from somebody and is walking back with literally their entire plan for the rest of 2025 and probably what's accurately going to happen in 2027, 26, and 27. And we're sitting here like, oh, that guy's going to make $1 million bajillion dollars. That's crazy. How the hell can you get such a high level? I mean, I guess, yeah, back to Brewer's point, it's humans. Man, that guy's going to make a bag. Somebody's got to find that wallet immediately. True. The Muffin Economy. Do you know The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man. Shrek. Great movie. And so is this interview that got SBF like moved from a normal prison to like a high security prison. Apparently the interview that he did with Tucker Carlson a couple months ago that we went live as soon as it went out, because I was like, I don't think that, like, you ever have that like natural spider sense? Like as soon as I saw it, I was like, we're watching this, it's 20 minutes, we're going to stream it. It's probably out there somewhere. Because it just felt like there is no way this is live and this is happening right now. And within this part, they talk about the muffin economy.
What's the medium of exchange in prison?
You know, it's whatever people have, and you know, muffins. They're like little plastic wrapped. You go to like a gas station, and like on the counter there might be like a plastic bowl with little individually wrapped plastic muffins that have been sitting there for a week at room temperature. You know, imagine one of those. That's like standard. Is that a packet of ramen soup or a kind of disgusting looking little foil package of fish in oil at room temperature?
Ooh, you went from crypto to the muffin economy.
Yeah, that's right.
How would you compare
Muffin Economy? That was like absolutely the best thing that could have ever come out of that clip. So there was some bot that liked this pose back when that happened in March. So it must have, if you go back and go to my live feed on YouTube, you can probably find around March 6th. You can watch the interval in full or my reactions with it unless you just want to look it up, because I think Tucker Carlson still has it on his page. So Matt Fury, we highlighted this thing the other day where all of his collections kind of got just completely destroyed from the hack, right? So He's got so much bad PR. It makes a statement after kind of being quiet for a while. I'm proud of the art I've created and shared in the NFT space and grateful to our collectors. The recent issues affecting these projects are being addressed as we prioritize securing both the art and the underlying technology for the long term. Interesting. This is a collaborative effort, and we're committed to a thoughtful plan that puts the community first. Thanks for your patience, support, and trust. There's nothing really to say there, but cool that we're seeing Matt make a statement on it. Just in, Ethereum flips MasterCard to become the world's 22nd largest asset by market cap. How do you position that to the people that are like not within this industry right now that have no idea how much things are built and running on Ethereum right now, and how many more are likely to come? And think of the world. How many people do you know have a MasterCard? Oh, basically every single person that you know. And ETH just flipped it. There's your quote of the day. Bum ba-dum, bum ba-dum. That was the start of the Star Wars Empire March, because we got some bad actors in the space, or at least the perception of bad actors. So we're going to have to piece this puzzle together in a way that is fair, but I think an accurate reading of this of the situation at hand. So Beeple has an event that's all about CryptoPunks over the weekend, and there's things that happen at it, like this poster that gets sent around, and it says statement from Larva Labs. To highlight, Larva Labs is the collection behind CryptoPunks and Meebits. So again, the collections are selling. CryptoPunks are selling for like 200,000 right now, and they're like the tippy top. This is the team that created it. Statement from Larva Labs. In 2015, we began developing a project that explored the concept of digital identity through collectible assets on the blockchain. What emerged was, in our eyes, one of the most elegant and compelling works of digital art ever created. However, in 2017, we made the difficult and perhaps iconic decision that it was too refined and intellectual to release in its original form. So we dumbed it down, roughed the edges, and reimagined in what the world knows as CryptoPunks. We are proud to present, for the first time ever, this original unreleased version, the historic V0 CryptoPunks. And it's the Nakamigos. And there's comments that are coming out saying, well, I can't believe people don't realize that this is not satire. And then you finally get somebody that finally shares the Beeple video, because most people haven't. And this is what was displayed for the people at the CryptoPunk event. We'll play like 30 seconds of it.
Thank you so much for coming out to Beeple Studios to celebrate CryptoPunks. We love CryptoPunks because we made them. Yeah, that's right, man. We sure did. But what a lot of people don't know about is the project that we made before CryptoPunks. The V0 CryptoPunks. This was a project that we started in 2015. It was a project that we thought would really show people the true power of Ethereum. It turned out super beautiful. It turned out so good. It actually turned out too good. Yeah, it just turned out too beautiful. And so we just said, people aren't ready for this. They're not ready for it. And so we decided to not release it. And then 2 years later, we decided, wait a second, what if we just made the project way shittier and uglier, and then we released it? And we called it CryptoPunks. And those are the CryptoPunks that you know. But today, we're very excited to release the original V0 punks. We really hope you like them. Okay, let's count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Happy V0, everybody.
So your first reaction is probably, well, that looked weird as hell. Well, you're right, because it was a deep fake. They took the two creators and the whole concept was very over the top. They could have made that look way more legitimate, but they purposely acted with like the slow speech, the kind of obvious aspect of it. But the whole timeline took what the original post was. It's not this, right? The poster, but then said that Nakamigos were the V1 for it. And this sparked a whole bunch of back and forth that if you haven't seen, and it was literally just an AI video that's fun. And so now people are calling for Beeple to go to jail. People are calling for all this different stuff because the collection of Nakamigos, the thought that this was real, absolutely mooned everything. And then people realized, because they saw the video, people corrected after everybody was like, woo, this is fun, pump the floor. They're like, oh my God, I bought this on a narrative. I don't actually want this. Price completely crashes. So then you get the likes of what's going on with Dim here, who says, well, if there was a real collection from Larva Labs available under 1 ETH, which is the me bits, what about that? Right? We got Palace with an interesting take saying Nakamigos Pump should remind you that a ton of current market participants were not here in 2021, and a lot who were are now gone. Nobody remembers anything, almost nothing that happened in 2021 where the previous hierarchies matter to the current market, and you can just make things up and say things. And remember when we highlighted the same thing before between Solana, things are heating up, getting shipped, and then the person that did that for ApeCoin, and if you hadn't seen the other person's posts, you would think that person's just saying, oh, that's legitimate, and if they're associated with the team, or there's some kind of, we make up all these scenarios just to fit whatever the hell narrative we want to look into, right? But this is absolutely true, because people were saying, oh, we have Disney members on our team, which in some cases was real, but trying to make all these stories or something that was, interesting or exciting. And this is proof of that exact thing. And I haven't made many shorts in a while, and I probably should, because this is what it's like to be able to see the last time that somebody tried using the Larva Labs name to pump a collection. They were unrevealed at a point, and for whatever reason, all over Twitter and X, people were saying there's a connection to Larva Labs. And they're the creators of CryptoPunks. And so everybody, not everybody, but there was a fair amount of people that were like, okay, maybe this is true. Of course, it wasn't, but still, it got the attention of pretty much the entirety of Twitter. Look at that. Look at that. Straight up to 0.15 for this collection. And this is, just to clarify, this is not the V0 punks. This is just talking about Asylum Hall Genesis again from way, way before when somebody tried using their name. Price goes up to 0.15. You can see that there was 2,000 sales at the time for that. Think of new NFTs that launched. 2,000 sales in one day. That is crazy. Obviously, people see the reveal and they're like, there's absolutely no way whatever the hell this is a part of Larva Labs. But because the unrevealed was there and the narrative was spun, that's how we got to where we got. That's how we got to where we got. That's how we got to where we got. It feels like a song we'd say at a campfire or like a kid's show. I don't know. But this also begs the question, right? So was there who were the people that swept the hell out of Nakamigos to dump them when they ended up flying up, right? Because this is where we go from everybody's like, hey, the market's going up, we're excited, to, oh my God, somebody had insider information. I didn't do well. We're sending that person to jail. We're having a fight. Listen, I'm going to start working out because I'm emotionally charged all of a sudden. Yo, Narmac, what's going on? Right? So Mike Novogratz, again, huge, Galaxy Digital on TV all the time talking about crypto. A few days ago, he had a Nakamigo that was made as their profile photo. So did he know that something was going on and wanted to help buy into that? Maybe there was some kind of, hey, I'm doing this behind the scenes. And maybe that's just me making some story up. It's like completely unfair to Beeple himself. And maybe Novogratz is just a big fan of this, right? But this is the perception of, you know, people getting like caught up with their own thoughts. That's why I'm always like, okay, pay attention, try to think about it, no pun intended, if you know, you know. But True Austin, so this it's kind of like a flip of the script here. So if Nakamigos is truly the inspiration for CryptoPunks and was the first PFP project created by Larva Labs, then I'd say Nakamigos are quite undervalued and should be swept immediately. I'm buying. This is the sort of mindset, and I'm not trying to make fun of Drew. Like, I'm trying to highlight that we have a very weird literal everyday experience that we're about to go through with these AIs, these beliefs, the fact that we're always online. How do we verify what's real and what's not? And on a side tangent, we played the deepfake video earlier from Matt and John of Larva Labs, but know that it's also a common scam that is happening. I've seen before where there was government officials and it was, I don't know, let's just pretend I'm a government official and I'm there, it looks completely legit, and I'm like, hi there, if you're looking for the best place to invest, know that our entire country is going behind this fund. We're here to prepare for the worst and best of times, and we'll make sure that within X amount of years, you'll have your savings for this. Again, this is backed by our government, and here's where to check it out. And it's that, right? And it's crypto scams. It's like legitimate scams of people investing within certain things. They're just like not there for that. And this is a real thing that's happening. And you know, there's a lot of instances where it's like, whatever. But again, people and their money, scams, like this is something definitely to have a talk within your families about, because it's a very, very real and legitimate threat that a lot of people aren't going to be prepared for. And so Drew now realizing, oh shit, that's fake. People putting projects in his art and creating speculative hype is one thing. Outright lying to influence buyers with its influence is just a weird, not cool move. Wasn't funny, just pure market manipulation. So again, to show the emotional contrast, right? We go from they're undervalued and they need to be swept to this is market manipulation, 911, we got a problem. Right. And again, I'm not trying to make fun of Drew at all. This is a great perception for it, because when you see the video itself, you're like, oh, okay, this is intended to be completely fake. And the people that are causing this narrative is more like everybody that's spreading the misinformation versus the guy that's like, hey, I'm just trying to be fun, have something that they come to my event, they know like I'm about humor and memes, and it's not intended to have this negative effect. I mean, some people would immediately be like, oh, no, they did it intentionally, right? And so this is where you have to balance every thought of, is it attempting to be malicious? Is it attempting just to be fun? And what's morally the gray line is people, right? This is why it's stuff gets mega complicated. And so to the whole point that we're saying, imagine scrolling on the timeline, you have no idea what's going on over the weekend. You have about 4 ETH, and you're like, yeah, man, I think NFTs are going to have a run because we've seen CryptoPunks do what they do. And then you see this post. Some secret Yuga lore the founders don't want you to know. The mutant apes were first, but their traits were just too insane for the devs to put on chain. So they had to make them less insane and mint boring apes instead. So in some sense, you could consider MAYC as V0 BAYC. Now, you know that's fake, but the person that just got on there is maybe, oh my God, you can't see my feet, but they're moving up and down. I'm FOMOing. I need to get a mutant. And it's just like a meme that's supposed to be fun. And that's a problem with truth, but that's what we got to figure out as we're moving forward. And we're going to be covering all the Web3 news and shenanigans Monday through Friday. And we're also going to be doing the RWA Segments podcast, which again, link in the description below if you want something a little bit different here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for coming through. Sunday stream a little bit later. Hopefully you like the time. If you guys do enjoy this, would love any comments, reactions, responses, retweets, what the hell ever. No credits. Roar, Geo. Appreciate you guys coming through. Norvis Duo Long. Sheesh. And Narmac coming through just in time. Not bad, not bad. That stream is 50 minutes. Holy sweet sugar shit. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.